So a question that we get asked often is what holes and gaps or am I missing where my revenue is stuck between five and 10,000 per month. So if you're a coach, a consultant, or a service professional, and you're asking yourself the same question, and you've asked other people this question, you're probably missing one of these three gaps in your sales system. So we're going to be talking about how that relates to LinkedIn and how there's fixes for each one of these. But before we dive in today, just want to let you guys know from January 26th to the 30th, from 12 to 1 Eastern, Nancy and I are hosting our high-level LinkedIn workshop. It's called the Amateur to Expert in 5 Days Workshop. It is a $29 workshop for a number of reasons. Number one, you get a workbook for each day for accountability purposes. Number two, you'll have access to the replay so you can go back and watch over anything that we've covered. And number three, we're going to be teaching you the exact strategy in the system that has allowed us and all of our clients to grow and scale their business leveraging LinkedIn, from optimizing your profile, building the right type of ideal client network, messaging, sales call structure, booking sales calls, content creation, and our 20-minute a day methodology called the LinkedIn Growth Engine. So if you want to register and you're watching on social, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, just type the word me in the comments and we'll send you the link to get yourself registered. If you're listening on the podcast, the description of the episode has the link. And remember, it is a high-level workshop. So it is for coaches, consultants, and service professionals who want to learn how to turn their efforts on LinkedIn into cash into their business. And we have capped this at 150 people just because it is high level and we're spending a lot of time. So we're about half sold out. So don't wait. If you want to learn how to use LinkedIn the right way, you're not going to have to pay thousands of dollars to join this workshop to learn. Just about $6 a day. So with that, I'm going to turn it to Nancy so we can go over these gaps and the fixes of what you need to do for your sales system.
Yeah, so this was a topic actually I've been thinking about lately. I think so many people throw their efforts in one direction, right? When they're trying to build their business and they don't look at the big picture and they forget, right, that there's so many different things that we can implement, right? Routines, systems, processes, right? That will help close the gaps in some of these ways. So, what I want to talk about today, and like Scott said, we're going to talk about a couple of the different gaps, but I really want to reiterate the focus that most coaches or consultants who are stuck here, right, where you've kind of hit that 5 to 10,000 a month, it's not always a content problem or a, singular thing. It's most often a conversion problem, right? It's a system. It's not having a clear process to follow up and sell, right? We don't talk about this, I think, enough, in the consulting and coaching world, because here's the thing, we want to talk about content all day long. Content is very important, right? But there are multi layers, right, that go into what to do after, right? You've posted the content and how you are actually following up. And so that's what I really want to dig into today is really some of those things that we're missing that can drastically change the results that you have. Because again, you could be getting sales here and there, but you could be leaving so much money on the table by not having these certain things in place. So I want to share the first gap and then I'll ping pong it back to you, Scott.
Mhm.
But the first gap that I want to focus on is you're trying to wing the buyer journey. Okay. You're thinking that you're just posting, you're going to jump on one call and that's it. Okay. I want to be transparent in the state of the world right now. Okay. People are making buying decisions a little slower. Okay. And in some cases, a lot slower, right? Because people have to look at things from all angles, from multiple points. We don't have, right, the security that we've been having, and it's like a lot of people really are taking longer to make decisions. And so if we're trying to wing this buyer journey, and we just think again, post content, get on a sales call, and that's it. This is a huge gap, right? Because you could be leaving so much money on the table by actually fixing it and creating a simple buyer journey that guides prospects from being aware of your business to decision. And a lot of that, okay, comes with follow up, right? Routines around after we have conversations with people. It's the multiple touch points. It's realizing that, you know what, probably the last time you guys made a significant purchase, you didn't just see like one ad and then just give your credit card. Right? Maybe if it's a low cost thing, but like a lot of us, right, are promoting high ticket services and we need to take people through that buyer journey. Okay, so a fun little exercise. You could probably just go right into AI, Gemini, ChatGPT, something like that. Work with it to have it create a buyer journey for what it is that you sell, right? It's taking people through that awareness, research, evaluation, decision, right? It's actually helping people digest and process and move forward in that. Your ideal clients are going to go through the same thing, right? That's what you do for yourself, even, if you don't realize you're doing it. But that is why we have to create that process. Okay. I'm sure many of you have seen a lot of our buying journeys begin with a lead magnet, right? We'll download someone's free checklist or, free resource. We'll learn a little bit more about them. We'll get on their email list, right? We'll be nurtured, with some of the email notifications. And then boom, maybe we'll be ready after a little while to purchase whatever, is kind of at the end of that, tunnel. So moral of the story is we need to think through the whole thing, not just a little piece of it. Okay. Don't just keep focusing on content. Make room for the follow-up, the sales calls, right? We want to treat that as a system and we want to really map that out for clients. Scott, do you want to jump into gap two?
Yep. So the second gap is you don't have time to sell because you're stuck in creation mode. And this is this is one of those gaps that we see a lot of people in. They we call it the stop start methodology, where you get super excited, you get in creation mode, then you move into self-doubt, analysis paralysis, and then you kind of just remain in creation mode and you end up failing to launch. You just continue to just recreate, create, recreate, create, and you never just put yourself out there. Here's the thing. We always talk about, people always say, I just want my content to be perfect, or I want my messaging to be perfect. I want the landing page for my lead magnet to be perfect, right? I want everything to be perfect. Well, I I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, but perfection does not exist, and imperfect action is always better than taking no action at all. So here's the thing. If you don't make the time for certain activities, not just creation activities, but sales activities, if you don't make time for it, guess what? You're never going to do it. So a simple thing is, and I this is the same advice I give to any client, is just block out 15 to 20 minutes a day in your morning, afternoon, or evening to do those sales activities. And if we're using LinkedIn as an example, that could be sending targeted connections, sending some new welcome messages to people that you've recently connected with, sending some thank you messages for people that engaged in some of your content, or maybe they voted in your poll or subscribed to your newsletter. And the fact is, you have to make time for these activities because you can't expect the sky to open up and drop opportunities into your laps. You have to create those opportunities, but also give yourself some reminders to follow up. So something that I do personally is I have a Trello board. It's a project management board that I use to kind of keep track of conversations I've had with people on LinkedIn, where they've been left off, who do I need to follow up with, who I need to send information to or book a call with, because out of sight, out of mind. If it's not written down, it's not going to get done. But the other thing is that in regards to content, and I've had these kind of blocks as well, where I'm like, oh man, or prime example, maybe Nancy and I are traveling and I don't have time to sit down at my computer and record a training for maybe a LinkedIn live that I'm doing. Um, a lot of the content that I personally create for LinkedIn is repurposable, meaning it's an evergreen topic that, and this is advice I would give anyone that's listening or watching. If you're ever doing a training, don't make a timestamp. Don't say the time of year, time of day, day of the week. Just say hi and then go into the content because there's been times where I've had to go back into some old trainings that I've done, and I'm not talking about years old. I'm talking about maybe a few weeks or a few months. And because I have the content stored, I can repurpose it. So I can take that off of my mind. I'm like, okay, it's all right. I'm going to talk about a relevant topic anyway. The call to action is something evergreen, meaning it could be a checklist that Nancy and I have created or some sort of lead magnets available at all times. So making sure that you're blocking out that dedicated time for those sales activities, just like I said on LinkedIn, connecting, messaging, engaging, creating some sort of automated reminder and follow-up system for yourself using a project management tool. We love Trello, but also don't be afraid to repurpose your content if it's been a month or two, because chances are, and Nancy always says this, you could post the same thing every day for 2 weeks and no one will notice the difference. You'll have different people engaging with it each time. So again, if you're if you're really stuck in that I don't have time to sell, you're stuck in that creation mode, those are three things that I would suggest you to do.
Yep. And if you guys, don't currently have a CRM, right? I know Scott talked about using Trello in that way, but, a CRM, that's exactly what it's for, right? It is a tool to help you manage, your clients and potential leads, right? In every stage of the buyer journey. So everything we talked about, I talked about in Gap One, right? Build it out, have that pipeline that you're moving people through, and make sure that you're working it. So Gap Three, and this guy, this is a huge one. Okay, this is a very big one. And I'm not gonna like say, oh, this is just a very basic one. Is that your offer that you're actually marketing to people isn't even sales ready? Okay, it could be an awesome and amazing offer, but the thing is, and I say this all the time, I don't know who quoted this originally, but I say it a lot. It's you can't see the label from inside the jar
Yeah.
a lot of times. Okay. And when we're in our own business and we're like, oh my gosh, this is the best program ever, and it's amazing. And we say all these things. And right, a lot of times we focus on the features, right? Because it's the things that we're going to deliver, right? So we focus on, oh, you get a one-on-one call and you get a this and you get a that, but we don't talk about the benefits, and we don't have our messaging tightened, and our sales page just doesn't clearly explain, right? It still leaves questions, right, for people. And the thing is if our offer is not clear and it is not super, super understandable, right? So simple that someone can go, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I need. I want to hire this person. We need to go back. Okay. So the gap here is we need to audit our current messaging with fresh eyes,
Mhm.
right? We need to look at our sales page, our bio, our LinkedIn, right? Guys, are you actually listing what it is that you do, right? Is it easy whenever you go to any kind of social media page that you're currently marketing on? Is it easy for number one, people to understand what you do? And is it easy for them to take the next step? Okay. And I know, again, label inside the jar, this is a simple one, but I remember I was actually listening to a coaching call. It was a podcast where the coach would actually get on and she would pull up everyone's Instagram accounts and their LinkedIn and all their, the different social media accounts. And she would say, guys, let's play a game. And it was really a fun coaching exercise because she would go through and she would actually say, you're missing a lot of things, right? I'm not clear on what you do. Like people would try to say things in a really cute way. Like one woman, she did some kind of wellness coaching, but she was like beating around the bush in a very cute, way of explaining it. And just like Donald Miller says, right? Be clear, don't be cute, you know? And so
Oh,
sometimes we
is
are
is he the
blind,
one
we
that
can't
also
see
says
it.
don't make people burn calories trying to figure out
Yes.
what you do?
Yeah, don't make people burn calories. Like, oh, guys, let's shorten this curve. So, audit everything that you have out there. Pretend you are your client or your potential, right, leads looking at all your information. Look at your sales page, your bio, recent posts. If
Mm.
you are a potential client, right, look like sitting in your chair looking at your stuff and assume, right, they know nothing about you. Is it going to be clear and easily understandable what it is that you do, Scott?
And another thing to add in is that I did this in a training the other day. So many people don't don't see the value in properly optimizing their background banner on their LinkedIn profile. And there's two things that so many people write all these words or just email me or it's got to do two things. Number one, it has to clearly state what it is that you do and who you do it for. My background banner says the LinkedIn content, sales, and marketing system for coaches, consultants, and service professionals. So when someone goes to my LinkedIn profile, they know that what we do is LinkedIn content, sales, and marketing. Very clear. Well, then the second question is, well, who do they do it for? For coaches, consultants, and service professionals. So you have to be like uber clear who you actually work with. And the same thing goes for your about section. So many people just put a message out there and just hope the right people see it. You have to you have to make sure the right people see it by clarifying this is who it's for. But when you're clarifying who it's for, guess what you're doing at the same time? You're letting the other people know this is not for you, right? So when someone sees coach, consultant, or service professional, and that's i.e., accountant, lawyer, finance, insurance, anyone that doesn't fit into those buckets is going to be like, you know what? They don't work with me, right? Oh, they don't work with engineers, or they don't work with doctors, or this, that, or the other. So again, it's all about how clear your message is to the person that is seeing it. So before, again, do you want to say anything else, Nance?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just, want to reiterate. I mean, again, the workshop that Scott mentioned at the beginning, I mean, we cover so much just really good stuff during this workshop. I mean, it is one of my favorite ones to teach because so many people have aha moments and walk away with like clear structure and actionable steps to really grow and move through, right? All of the processes using and focusing on LinkedIn, right? It's not just about adding another social media platform. It's actually creating a sales process and system within your business. And so, again, I'm just super excited to, do this workshop that's coming up. We do have a few spots, guys. We actually have our expert authority mastermind. The doors, are open just for, a short period of time. We only, talk about this a couple times a year. And, we're really, really excited. So if you guys are interested, obviously the workshop will share the link, but you can also visit thetimeToGrow.com and check it out in our programs.
Yep.
Scott?
And also, just to let you know, we've done this workshop many times, but we haven't done this for well over a year and a half, almost 2 years. And we actually have people that have closed sales
Yeah, during the
during
workshop.
the workshop,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's very streamlined, it's very doable and repeatable, and that's exactly why we teach this. So again, it's a 5-day workshop. It's less than $6 a day. It's $29. You get your workbook that you have forever, access to the replays and everything else. So again, if you're watching on social, just type the word me in the comments and we'll send you the registration link. If you're listening on the podcast, the description has the link. Get yourself registered. We're capping it at 150, and that is it. Once the tickets are sold, they are sold, and we are half sold out already. So do not wait. So everyone, we hope you enjoyed today's training and today's episode. Love and gratitude, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.